Dino Wars. The U.S. Army meets the dinosaurs, and the fight is on by Tom Moldvay. Yeah, you know that name. This is going to be the biggest game that I have ever played on the channel. We are talking about, yeah, we're on the kitchen floor here because you need that kind of space in order to use your army men and your dinosaurs. We talked about this last week, so I'm not going to waste any time talking about the forces. You know who we got, but let's talk about terrain. We're going to call this Dinosaur Valley, all right? Imagine that the wall is a tall mountain range, and over here the oven and the fridge down there are another tall mountain range. The dinosaurs are going to come through that door, that end of the valley, and they need to conduct a successful overrun attack on this flag right here. The United States, I should just say the Green Army men, they're green and tan. It's kind of a British and American task force here in Dinosaur Valley, are trying to defend the flag. I didn't think there was quite enough terrain in the box. We've got a mountain here, the blocks movement line of sight, another mountain there. That was the top of the lid. It's got a little, like, chintzy bridge on it. So I threw a mouse pad down for a pond of water. And then we've got some swampy areas over here. Those count as slow going, that, you know, it double movement to get through there as usual. And then that wasn't enough terrain blocking. There's a little toy over there. There's some ruins. We'll see them up close. So I said, I need a tall mountain. So I took the garbage can and I just tipped it upside down. So that's kind of a peak right there in the center of the valley. And that gives the dinosaurs a little bit more blocking terrain, because I think a wide open plain, the army men are just going to be able to sit back and just basically pound the dinosaurs into paste. So we have a little bit of blocking terrain, a little bit of slowdown. What the U.S. Army didn't realize is that we've got that crocodile dinosaur who's going to be able to move 24 inches. It's a little weird. We're going to say that he can move he moves twice as fast. Normally he moves 12 inches. He moves 24 inches if he's in the water or the swamp. We're just going to give him double movement while he's in there, because it's the mouse pad, as you know, is only yay big. It's not 24 inches long. I don't have any idea of concept of strategy for this. We're playing a game that's designed to be able to play with a 5-year-old. Look, I'm a 50-year-old man crawling around on my kitchen floor for you guys. I hope you appreciate this. I know it's a little weird. Just to refresh your memory, the guy with the pistol is our hero. The guy holding the binoculars is our lieutenant, and we have two NCOs here with the radios. There's one here and one here. So you should be able to tell them apart. Everybody else is pretty obvious. We got some bazooka guys, and then we got some guys with grenades. Everybody else, and then also mortars who can fire indirect fire. We'll talk a little bit more about those as it comes up. And I'll leave those where they are. I don't think I mentioned in the last video, the army men can travel 6 inches per. The guys that are crawling, like I don't have any snipers or anything like that. There's a crawly guy. We'll put him right there so you can see him. They also move 6 inches. Everybody else has rifles. So it's all rifles except for mortars, bazookas, and then all of the characters that I just pointed out, they have a +1 on their 2-hit rolls. Also, I forgot to mention, the army guys have set up a little bit of barbed wire. There's 4 pieces of barbed wire fencing. They do not block line of sight. The dinosaurs have to conduct a successful overrun attack. That will knock the fence over, then they can move through. If they fail on that overrun attack, they will have to end their movement there. So let's take a look at them. They're over here, and as you can see, I've got them lined up, and let's call it 2 units of 3. We're going to use our Brachiosaurus for, he's basically going to be he's going to draw aggro so our 2 fighty boys can get there. And then likewise, our crocodile dinosaur is going to be able to race up through the swamps that I showed you, and maybe he'll draw some fire, which will let our Steggy boy and our I can't remember, I need to look at the names again. And the green dinosaur will be able to zip up while he's drawn aggro, and hopefully they can get close enough to start chomping some army guys. So that's kind of the plan. And as you recall from the last video, the dinosaurs get to move first. We're going to move them one at a time. All right, here we go from the point of view of the army men. The purple one is the Ceratosaurus. It can move 18 inches. The gray one is the Apatosaurus. Looks like a brontosaurus to me, but what do I know? A lot slower. He's only moving 12 inches. Oh, not very good for drawing aggro there. And then the yellow one is our T-Rex. It's not really a T-Rex. It's standing in. It's okay. Moving on, Stegosaurus. We all know the Stegosaurus. He's got the plates on the back. And then he is accompanied by the Monoclonius. Again, 18-inch movement for both of those. And our our giant croc is the Dino Wars, who only moves 12 inches until he gets to the swamps over there. After dinosaur movement, looks a little something like this. You can see our gray boy is hiding behind the wall, the little ruins there. Everybody else is hiding behind Mount Trashcan, or should we call it Mount Trashmore? And now it's time for the army guys to go. So they start exactly where they're at, and I'm going to move some of them up, trying to get in range. The army men have moved appropriately, and the army men can move 6 inches. There's a ruler so you can see how far 12 inches is. The guys with the rifles, anybody that's aiming their weapon, they have a range of 18 inches. The guys with assault rifles, this Crawley boy down here, the hero there, the guy with the grenades, they only have a range of 12 inches. Grenades have a range of 3. The bazookas only have a range of 12 inches, so we moved them up. And then the mortars here, they can fire indirect, but they only have a range of 5 feet. Everybody is out of range, so we're still in that first turn of the game where we're feeling each other out. Everybody is kind of dancing around before they expose their final plans. It's the end of the turn, so we kick things back over to the forces of the dinosaurs. After movement, our dinosaurs look a little something like this. We're leaving our Apatosaurus behind, unfortunately, but Mr. Giant Croc, Mr. Deinocus, he's going to start hauling, well, I mean, he doesn't really, well, you know what I mean. He's going to start hauling tail. We're learning Mount Trashmore didn't do us much good in this scenario because it's really just too far away from the army guys to provide any cover. They didn't need any cover, so bear that in mind. But we do still have these little bits of terrain up front that will block line of sight and will force our army men to have to choose. Maybe they have to take a target that they like a little less than they'd want. Gonna flip back around and we'll show you. Here's where the army men start the turn, and after they move, our army men look a little something like this. And one thing I don't think I've mentioned yet, facing matters. Our army men can only fire to their front 180-degree arc. So if a dinosaur manages to stomp around you and come at you from the other side, like if he moves towards you, you're not going to get a shot at him. If he tries to overrun you from behind, you don't get the opportunity to shoot as he's stomping his foot down on you. Once again, the turn sequence goes, the dinosaurs move, they do their overrunning attacks, then you have a regular fire phase, the dinosaurs attack, then the armies move and they have a secondary fire. If you have an assault rifle, you only have a range of 12 inches, but you can fire 2 shots per turn. Again, we're still well out of range. The only guys who could shoot now are the mortars, but they fire in the regular fire phase, and they've just now moved up to within that 60 inches of range. So unfortunately for them, they're going to have to wait one more round before they get any fire for effect. The dinosaurs get to move. All of the dinosaurs on the right side of the screen have moved. I told you Mr. Crocodilio was going to be able to race up that swamp. Over here on the left-hand side, the purple one, Mr. Ceratosaurus, he's got the bony head ridge. He moved 4 inches, and now he's come up to the barbed wire. So he's going to make an overrun attack on that barbed wire. That's going to cost him two more inches. So he's already moved 6 inches. If he is successful, he'll be able to move 12 inches up, and Mr. Apatosaurus will come up behind him. Ceratosaurus has an attack score of 9, so we rolled 2d6, and on a 9 or less, he is successful. Now, he failed, so he gets tangled up in the wire. We're going to move the Apatosaurus up right next to him, which could be dangerous because it puts them both in the range of the mortar, but we got to try. I don't know how far that is, but let's see what Apatosaurus is. He brings that big tail around, and he's got an attack score of 8. So with an attack score of 6, there's the other 3. He does bring the fence down. That costs him 2 inches, and we'll finish his movement. We are in the regular fire phase for the army. This mortar has a straight shot. He's doing direct fire at that Ceratosaurus off there in the distance. He is able to fire, and he will do 3 points of damage on an 7 or less. If he was firing indirect, it would be a 6 or less, but 7 or less. If he rolls snake eyes, he gets a direct hit, and he just knocks that dinosaur out completely. On a result of a 5, yeah, that's going to be a real problem. These guys aren't the sturdiest on their feet. On a result of a 5, he will do 3 points of damage to the Ceratosaurus, who is now down to just 4 hit points. And I think that's it on this side of the table. So now let's go look at the action. Let's start with Mr. Mortar. As you can see, he's facing in that direction, so he can hit any 4 of these dinosaurs. He's going to start by shooting at the crocodile. It's direct fire. He's not firing over anything. He doesn't need a spotter. But the crocodile, because you can just see his eyes swimming through the fetid swamp, we're going to give him that -1 for cover. And that means instead of hitting on a 6, he's going to be hitting on a 7 or less. But once again, on Snake Eyes, really? See, that's the double R's is Snake Eyes. For mortars, automatic kill on an attack roll of 2. What a lucky shot right out of the gate for the Army men. We'll go ahead and flip Mr. Crocodile over because he's no longer a threat. Remember, automatic rifles, bazookas, only have a range of 12. That's going to be a problem. But we do have, and this guy could have shot at Mr. Crocodile. Probably should have shot him first. Anyway, we do have 2 rifles. Is there anyone else that can fire? There is not. So we got 2 shots with rifles. Now, rifles have a range of 18 inches, but they only do 1 damage. They have an attack score of 7. I got 2 shots. We're going to fire at Mr. Green Jeans right there in front. We get a 4 for 1 damage, and we get a 5 for a second point of damage. Mr. Monoclonius goes from 9 to 7 hit points, and we're done with the first fire phase. Really, we're done with the turn. There's nothing else we can do. So now things get ugly, because the dinosaurs get to move. And as I said, the dinosaurs get to move. These guys are all moving 18 inches. So now we're close enough. Mr. Dinosaur comes up. That costs him 12 inches. He has 6 inches of movement left. So he's going to spend 2 inches to make an overrun attack. But before he does, the guy with the rifle gets to make a Wilhelm scream attack. Again, he's hitting on 7 or less. With an 8, he misses. And that means that Mr. Monoclonius, with an attack score of 9, is going to get to attack back. And on a 9 or less, we got the 9, he goes stomp. And this guy is out of the game. Ka-chomp. Now remember, he's only used 14 inches of his movement. So he can decide to race another 2 inches over here. And that is going to be, so we did 12, 14, that's 16 inches. He has the 2 inches of movement left, so he's going to make a second overrun attack. But this guy with a rifle gets to make a last-ditch effort. And with a 9, he misses. So the dinosaur attacks back, and with an 8, that is going to kill a second army guy. The dinosaur is out of a movement, but that's okay, because he's got backup on the way. Our T-Rex is going to come straight at Mr. Hero. That's 12 inches of movement, and that's 16 inches of movement. Rawr, he has just enough movement left to try and go full doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. T-Rexes are terrifying. They have 15 life points. They hit on a 10 or less. But remember, this guy's a hero. He gets a saving throw. So first we roll. We got the 6. That means our hero would be dead, except he's a very, very lucky boy. And he gets to roll a luck roll. And on a 9 or less, he's not dead. He's only injured. On a 7, he's only injured. Putting him at -1 for the rest of his rolls. That's the rule for wounded men. His attack rolls and future luck rolls will also be at -1. Which means it's time for one steggy boy to come racing up. 12 inches to there. And then he's going to move another 6 inches, and that's as close as he's going to be able to get. So we'll have to turn our attention back to the slow boys way over here. Remember, Mr. Apatosaurus knocked over the fence. So we'll move him first. Rather than risk failing another overrun attack and losing all of his movement, the Ceratosaurus moved 2 inches around, and so he's still kind of neck and neck with the Apatosaurus. He'll pull ahead here in the next turn. That's it for the dinosaur move. So the next phase of the turn is the dinosaur attack phase. And remember this guy here that was successful in avoiding the overrun attack? He is only carrying a pistol, which means he can only make one attack per turn. Oh, wait a second. The rules are a little vague. Quoting, and you might be shocked to learn that an 8-page set of rules for dinosaurs and army men isn't, like, completely buttoned down. During the regular fire phase, all weapons can be fired in this phase, provided they're within range and have line of sight to a dinosaur. Some weapons, and then period. Some weapons can be fired twice in a turn. These weapons do not have to be reloaded each turn or require special handling. Such weapons can be fired during the regular phase and once more in the course of the turn. Which I take to mean, if you've got a weapon that only fires once and you fired it in the overrun phase, you can't fire it again. Which means in order to save our leader boy, we're going to have to hit him with everything we've got. The grenade here is too far away, as is this grenade. This grenade here is too far away. But we do have a mortar. Well, no, that bazooka is facing the wrong way. Remember, facing matters. You draw a line in front of this guy, he's facing the wrong direction. So in order to save our boy, we got to do some serious blamage. We do have an NCO here. And he is also going to be armed with, let's call it a pistol. Because his job is not actually to shoot, it's to lead. So we're going to be able to make a shot with the NCO. And NCOs have a +1. They're characters, after all. So instead of a 7, he's going to be hitting on a 6. So we get 1 point of damage against Mr. T-Rex. This assault rifle is definitely within 12 inches. He's going to do another point, so that's 2 points. This assault rifle is going to roll 7. That's 3 points. I think this bazooka is behind, so we can fire the bazooka. We're at 3 points. Mr. Bazooka is going to roll an 11 and just straight up miss. So we've got one more assault rifle. We're still trying to save our hero, and he's going to roll a 10 and miss. Well, we do still have, well, do we drop a mortar on the head of our hero? I don't think we can. This dinosaur is not in contact, so let's drop a mortar on him. With a roll of an 8, the mortar will miss. He needs a 7. Hey, stand up, you. This is why I don't just knock the army men over, because I accidentally do it. When they die, I just take them off the table. All right, so that's it for this side of the table. Mr. T-Rex, and again, he's facing the wrong direction, so he can't, the Mr. Crawley guy, he can't do any good. Mr. T-Rex has gone from 15 to 12 damage. And, yeah, like I said, we're done with this side of the table. Let's look at the left flank for the army men. Whoop, look how easy that is. What do we got? We got a rifleman here, and we should check range. This is 12 inches to the die, and then it's another 6 inches. Oh, those dinosaurs are out of range of everyone except the mortar. So the mortar is going to fire at Mr. Purple one more time, and with a result of an 8, he is going to miss. Man, this is brutal. So after the regular fire phase, now the dinosaurs get to attack. The only dinosaurs in contact is the T-Rex, and he's going to try to chomp our hero again. With a result of a 6, he succeeds, and our hero makes his save. Now remember, our hero normally saves on a 9, but because he is wounded, he is only going to save on an 8 or less, and that means he is going to go right down the gullet of everybody's favorite dinosaur. But we're not done with the turn yet. Now the army guys get to move, and they're going to pull our leader back here. I think we need to get everybody to safety, so we're going to pull back, and we're going to just turn this guy. We'll move our mortar in this direction so that he's safe. He can't get overrun there. And maybe we just spread out a little bit to force these dinosaurs to decide which direction they're going to go. Huh? How does that sound? We'll just pull this guy back a little bit. We'll pull him back. We still need to work this flank over here. Mr. Bazooka can turn. What are you going to do? Are you going to come at me? Or are you going to go at the flag? I think maybe the flag isn't going to work. These dinosaurs are just going to chew up our army men. Might have done better. We'll turn him this way, and we'll bring this guy. We got a crawly guy that can come over to right about there. I think they're pretty well spread out. I think that looks good. That is the army movement phase. Now we have our secondary fire phase. Anybody that has a weapon that can fire twice can now take their second shot. And that means this assault rifle gets a shot, and this assault rifle, he finally gets his first shot. So I think those are the only two guys. Maybe our NCO. I forgot, Mr. Binoculars here. He is actually a lieutenant, isn't he? So we're gonna leave him in front of the flag because that way we get that save. So pew pew pew. No, this guy's going pew pew. The rifle can't, but our 1, 2, 3 guys can fire at Mr. T-Rex. And with the assault rifle, they're doing. Oh, you know what? Assault rifles do 2 damage and hit on 8, so I get 3 chances: a miss, and a miss, and a hit. Mr. T-Rex is going down to 10 hit points. And you'll have to do better than that. That's the end of the turn. Dinosaurs get to move. How do we want to do this? All right, forget the flag. The flag is just blocks line of sight. We're going to see if the dinosaurs can do a total party wipe. I don't like this bazooka. Mr. T-Rex is going to go, we'll call that 7 inches, and then 8, 9 to try to eat nom 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 nom, Mr. Bazooka Boy. And we're going to put him standing over there. Once again, on a 10 or less, that guy goes down. So that was 9 inches of movement. He is 3 more inches away from this assault rifle guy. That takes him up to 12. 13, 14 for the overrun. He scores a 7 and goes chomp. And then he still has 3 more inches of movement, so he'll be able to close to right about there. We're going to bring next. Let's see what Mr. Monoclonius can do. He's taken a couple of hits. He's got 18 inches of movement, and he hits on a 9. So let's bring him over to here. 6 inches. So that's 8 inches of movement, hitting on a 9. Goodbye. Oh, wait a minute. That guy gets a saving throw, doesn't he? That was one of our sergeants. A 9 ain't going to do it for Sarge. He's only moved 8 inches so far. We're going to do a sweep around this way. 8, that's 15 inches. He does not have enough movement to do an overrun attack, which means he's done right there. Mr. Stegosaurus is going to be able to move 8 inches to close with the Bazooka Boy down here. And then then he's going to bring that tail spike around. So that's 14 inches of movement altogether. Stegosaurus's hit on a 9 or less. And with a 9, he'll do it. And as I said, 14, he's got 4 inches of movement left. We're going to move 4 inches to this assault boy, and then we're going to stop. Oh, you know what I forgot, though? Mr. Bazooka, wait, did I roll for the bazooka? The bazooka does get a chance, like a last-ditch effort. He is going to hit on a 6 and do 3. No, so he missed. And then I think that sergeant also gets an overrun attack. So we'll call that a successful hit with his pistol. It only does 1 point of damage. Mr. Monoclonius is down to 6 hit points. The last bit of movement is our left wave, who's going to move 6 inches to there. We'll bring him up, or 12 inches, I should say. And then he's got another 6 inches of movement, which will bring him up to there. So the dinosaurs have finished their movement. We've done our closing fire, our overrun attacks. Now it's time for regular fire. And now we get to have some fun. Our assault rifle gets a shot. Our rifle gets a shot. The rifle hits on a 10. The rifle hits on a 7. The assault rifle on an 8. So we're hitting on 7s. So that's 1 point of damage. The assault rifle on an 8. That's a miss. We're down to 3 hit points for Ceratosaurus. And well, this is the regular fire, so that means Our mortar can take a shot at Ceratosaurus. And with a 5, he'll finally hit. We finally got one with the mortar. They only hit on 6s, but they do 3 points of damage, which will take the Ceratosaurus down to 0. And he finally succumbs to his wounds. Over here, let's see if we can take out Mr. T-Rex. The rifle is going to get his regular shot. And with an 8, he is going to miss. This assault rifle is going to fire at the T-Rex. Hitting on a 7, he will hit for 2 points of damage. T-Rex is now down to just 8 hit points. We're halfway there, guys. And then our lieutenant is going to have to fire at the Stegosaurus. This guy with the assault rifle can fire in the regular phase, but he can't fire in the secondary. So the assault rifle is going to miss with a 10, and our lieutenant is going to miss with boxcars. We're still not done with the regular fire. Remember, we've got 2 guys over here. We've got our assault rifle, and we've got a mortar. The mortar, he gets a shot. I mean, there's nothing that says what a minimum range is. He'll miss with it, and then the assault rifle over there is going to be hitting on a 7. No, he hits on 8. He does 2 points of damage. So the Monoclonius is down to just 4 hit points. That's the end of the regular fire phase. Now the dinosaurs get to make their regular attack. And the green, what do we got here? We got a 9 for the Monoclonius. So trying to eat the mortar, he gets an 8. And Mr. Mortar goes, he is now Dino Chow. The only other dinosaur who's in contact is in contact with this assault rifle, and Mr. Stegosaurus is frightening with a 9 for his attack roll, and with a 6, that's 1 more army man down. Any army man who has an assault rifle, which includes this guy, can fire twice. So the assault rifle fires and does 2 more points of damage, knocking the Monoclonius down to 2 hit points. We have an assault rifle right here that has a second attack. Looking for a 7 or better. He does 2 points of damage. Mr. T-Rex is down to 6 hit points. And is there anybody else? This sergeant has an assault rifle. And so he's going to try to fire at the Apatosaurus. That's the first attack in the Apatosaurus. It's going to come up a miss. And that will be the end of the regular fire phase. We did the dinosaur attack phase. I forgot army movement. And then secondary fire. Okay. We did regular fire. There isn't going to be... So we should have done... We did the dinosaur attack. We got to do the army movement phase, and then we'll call it quits for this turn. And obviously our army is going to pull back. We need to try to preserve our forces here. We're going to make these dinosaurs earn it. This guy is going to crawl 6 inches to here, and that should allow him a shot on Mr. Stegosaurus. We'll bring see there we go. We're going to bring this guy over to here. Unfortunately, the yellow guys kind of blend in a little bit when they're at a distance, don't they? And then I think we got to pull back. It's kind of a fighting withdrawal here. We'll bring that guy back 6 inches. We'll bring this guy back 6 inches. We'll bring him back about 6. We'll bring him over, and we're just trying to buy ourselves a little more time to take out these last 4 dinosaurs. They're hurting, by the way. The T-Rex is down to 6 hit points. Monoclonius over there in green is down to just 2. And our Ceratosaurus is down to... Which one's the Ceratosaurus? He's dead. So yeah, I mean, we've killed 2 of the dinosaurs. And 1, 2, 3 of them are... Oh, we haven't even touched the Apatosaurus, though. We haven't touched the... Oh, we killed the Croc. Who else? Tyrannosaurus. Oh, we haven't touched the Stegosaurus. Mr. Steggy is really going to hurt us in this one. We don't have any secondary fire. I've already done it. So now the dinosaurs get to move, and I'm going to start with the Apatosaurus. We're just going to bring him up. We know what he's doing. He's got a lot of life points, too. Mr. T-Rex, which direction are you going to go? First of all, let's bring our Steggy boy over here. That's 6 inches. He's got a total movement of 18. Oh, no, come here, die. He's going to roll his attack, and with a boxcars, we know he misses. So he's done, by the way. When you miss, I forgot to roll once again. The last shot with a 9 with his pistol. Does that do it? Pistols hit on 8. So the sergeant over here, no, the LT, oh, wait a minute. The LT gets a +1. He does hit. He gets a +1 to his attack. So the Stegosaurus takes his first wound. He's down to 10 hit points now. That's ugly. That is the only attack he can make, though. So we did, the Stegosaurus is done. We're going to bring Mr. Green Jeans over to here. He is 9 inches away. That's 11 inches. So after this attack, if he succeeds with an 8, he succeeds on a 9. So he does. So he was 11 inches. He's got 7 more inches of movement. And I'm kind of impressed with how much motion there is in this game. There's a lot of running around. I'm kind of enjoying this. It's a little silly, I know. It's a little unusual. And this is going to be a rather long video for what it is, but it's okay. Mr. T-Rex says, I'm coming for you, buddy. With the overrun, that's going to be 10 inches of movement altogether. He is scary. Of course, he hits on a 10, and that means he eats this guy. Oop, get out of here, you. So that was 10 inches of movement, I think we decided. He's got another 6 inches left to go, and he says, I do not like you, Sam I Am. I'm going to move 5 inches, and I don't have enough movement left to make another overrun attack. So that's it for dinosaur movement. Closing fire, overrun attacks. Regular fire phase. Can we hit you with the pistol? A 7 plus 1 is an... Well, it's actually... It counts as a 6. So we can. That's going to take the T-Rex down to just 5 hit points. Can we hit you with a mortar? Snake Eyes will do it. And Snake Eyes is an insta-kill. Oh, we should have fired the mortar at that Apatosaurus. Oh, that would have been so much smarter, wouldn't it? He could have one-shotted him. Oh, well, we do have a rifle shot that we can do. We'll take it. That's 6 points. And the first shot on our Apatosaurus is going to take him from 24 down to 23 hit points. 23 hit points for that fat boy. I think we're in trouble. Turning our attention over here. Our pistol already fired. We've got an assault rifle who is facing... Oh, come back here, guy. I think he's facing. I think we're good. He can take his first shot, and with a 10, he's going to miss. So we're done with the regular fire phase. Now, the dinosaurs attack. Mr. Stegosaurus gets his regular attack. With a 9, our Stegosaurus is going to... Oh! We get a saving throw. With a 6, we're successful. Now, this lieutenant now has a -1 to all of his attack rolls. So he loses the +1 on his shooty bits, and his next luck roll, he will only be successful on a 6 or better, I think. Checking my cheat sheet. In fine 1980s form, we have a cheat sheet that looks a little something like this. That looks a little something like, come on, camera, work with me. There we go. See, look. See, that's not so bad until you look at your dinosaur roster that looks a little something like this. You got 2 pages for your... it's pretty quick, all things considered. Lots of white space. You'll love to see it. Where were we at? We did our Stegosaurus attack. He survived, and that's the only dinosaur attack we have left. So does anybody have a second shot left? Well, it doesn't matter. We're in the army movement phase now. And we're running out of space here. You can move out of contact with a dinosaur. So our Sarge, but it costs you 2 inches. So he's going to pull back to here, to right there. So we can only move 4 inches. And I think the other thing so what do we do now? I think we know he's coming for us. Let's make sure we're within that 12 inches range, okay? And then over here, I think we just wait for it. We got to take it. Well, we got to pull back. We got to make him earn every inch of movement, right? We may be able to to stay out of his way. The army has moved. Secondary fire phase. Does anybody have any fire left after movement? He does. He can fire at Mr. Stegosaurus a second time. And an 11 is going to be a miss. The army men are really not doing so hot. They're going to need to hit the training range if they expect to survive Dinosaur Island. We're done with the army guys. End of the turn. Back to dinosaur movement. Did we get far enough away? Well, let's do our Stegosaurus first. That's 4 inches, plus 2 for the overrun, and he gets an 8. So our lieutenant over there on the right has to make his save. He needs a 6 or less, and he doesn't get it. So that costs 6 inches of movement. He can move another 10 to here. Then, oh, did the sergeant hit with his... No, with a 10 he missed. And then I say green genes because I keep forgetting that he's a monoclonius. This should be a good way to teach you what dinosaurs are or which. So that's 12 inches. And then we go to 14 inches. So his last 2 inches for the overrun attack. We're firing the assault rifle first. The assault rifle will hit for 2 points of damage. And monoclonius is dead. Oh! On the final fire phase, our assault rifle does what assault rifles do. All right, where are we at now? So over here we've got just that Apatosaurus left. So we're down to 2 dinosaurs. But look at this stompy boy. He is going to move into contact. He's not doing an overrun attack. So the rifleman does not get to take a shot. Unfortunately, it's now regular fire phase. So in this case, we are going to be able to... Oh, is he? Let's see if is the dinosaur in his front fire arc? We're going to give it to him. That's an assault rifle by a sergeant. With a 5, we'll do 2 points of damage. We've got a regular rifle looking for an 8. We'll do 3 points of damage. And then our mortar looking for snake eyes. We only get a 6. Now that does hit. So that does a total of 6 points worth of damage, taking the Apatosaurus down to 17. That is the end of the regular... No, well, this guy can fire. And he's got... Let's see, so here's his front. He's got his first shot with the assault rifle. And boxcars, he gets nothing. That's the end of the regular fire phase. Now the dinosaurs would attack. Oh, so Mr. Apatosaurus here is in contact. An Apatosaurus will hit on an 8 or better. 11 is no dice. We are on to the army movement phase. We're going to turn this way and back way up. This sergeant is going to pivot around, and this rifleman is going to pivot and spin and try to slow him down. Now the rifleman, this assault rifle guy, actually we're gonna move up just a little bit more. We get 2 shots with assault rifles. 2 shots with assault rifles at Mr. Steggy. An 8 and a 9, but the 8 comes from this guy, which is at +1. So the first assault rifle is a sergeant. Well, we hit on an 8 altogether. So he rolled a 7. We do 2 more points to the Stegosaurus, and Mr. Stegosaurus is going to be down to 8 hit points. Not enough to bring him down. That's the end of the turn. There's no secondary fire. Well, that was the second... Oh, yeah, that was the secondary fire. So the dinosaurs get to move again. And we'll start with the Apatosaurus doing his overrun attack for 2 points, and he kills the rifleman. He's only moved 2 inches, so he can move an additional 4 to take him to 6 inches. And to 8 inches, with his snake eyes, he kills the mortar man. And he still has 4 inches of movement left, so he'll swing his bulk around and swing up in this direction. That leaves our Stegosaurus, who is 6 inches away from there, and he will make an overrun attack. A 10 will miss. That ends his movement. The assault rifle does get to shoot, and that assault rifle will do 2 more points of damage, taking the Stegosaurus down to 6 hit points. That's the end of the dinosaur movement phase. We're on to the regular fire phase. We get a second shot with the assault rifle. And we'll hit for 2 more points of damage, taking the Stegosaurus down to 4 hit points. And then this assault rifle can also take a shot at the Stegosaurus. And with a 6, it takes him down to just 2 hits. Now the dudes get to go, so we're gonna run away. We're gonna move him 6 inches to here. This sergeant here with the assault rifle. And then this guy, yeah, I think we're going to move him 4 inches back to here like that. That's really about all we can do. The dinosaurs would attack, but we moved out of attack range. So we don't have any secondary fire. So it's down to just 2 on 2, baby. 2 on 2. And it's not going to go well. We're going to start with the Apatosaurus. And I forgot to check. I suppose I should probably check his movement. 8, that's 10 inches. And with a 10, I don't think Apatosaurus succeeds. He has an attack roll of 8. He's done. Oh, the assault rifle gets to fire at him, though, doesn't he? With a 7, he'll do 2 more, which takes the Apatosaurus down to just 15 hit points. Yeah, I think this is over. And Mr. Stegosaurus says, you know what? I think you got it. I'm going to move the 8 inches to here, and our sergeant is going to shoot, and with boxcars, no dice, the overrun attack for the Stegosaurus is going to hit him. He's going to make his saving throw, and a 7 will, for the NCO, wouldn't you know it, that is not on... That should be on the cheat sheet. I'm a little disappointed. The NCO has a luck roll of a 7 or better. So he succeeds, but he's wounded. The next one is a 6 or better. And that ends the dinosaur movement. So the army guys are going to get to do their regular fire. We have an assault rifle taking its first shot, and he misses. And then our sergeant takes his first shot, and with a 4, he hits the Stegosaurus for 2 points of damage. And our Steggy boy finally has had enough. He just couldn't take any more abuse at the hands of these army men. Colonel Quaritch would be proud, wouldn't he, guys? That puts us at the dinosaur attack phase. That was so we had our first shot. That was our second shot with this guy, and that was our first shot with this guy. So Mr. Apatosaurus is now going to score a 5, and that will kill this last guy. Now our sergeant does get to fire, Sergeant Quaritch, I guess, and he does 2 more points of damage, taking the Apatosaurus down to 13. This is where it gets to be, oh, it's one-on-one. Remember that he's at -1. He only hits on the regular amounts. That's the end of the turn. He's fired twice. Wait, has he fired twice? That was the regular phase, the dinosaur attack? Yeah, that's the second one. So the Apatosaurus will close, and he'll make his overrun attack. And with a 10, he misses. Oh, the sergeant gets to fire first, and he will miss with his first fire. Then it is the regular fire phase, so Sarge will fire his second shot, and he hits on an 8, knocking the Apatosaurus down to 11 hit points. And I gotta say, I think the fact that we've wiped out 5 of the dinosaurs, and we've got 1 dinosaur who's half dead and 1 army guy left, given the terrible rolling of the army men, this is an extraordinarily well-balanced rule set. I'm really impressed with how well this plays. There's not a whole lot of decision-making, and the tactics are probably on par with something that a 7-year-old would be able to handle, which, honestly, let's face it, makes this ideal. Having survived that regular fire phase, the dinosaur gets to attack. Although, you know, I say the armor men have been rolling terrible. This Apatosaurus, he has also been doing lousy. He hits this time, and now we're on a 6 or less for the save. With an impressive 3, Sergeant lives to run away for another day. He's going to move 4 inches in this direction, and that's going to end the turn since he already fired twice. The Apatosaurus will close. We get our first overrun fire. On a 6, we hit for 2 more. Mr. Apatosaurus is down to 9 hit points and will make his stomp attack, and with a 7, he succeeds. Now, the sergeant only saves on a 5. With a 3, he lives to shoot again. And with an 8, oh, but you know, he is down to -2 on his shooting, so that's going to be a miss. He runs 4 inches away, and the Apatosaurus closes and makes his attack. And with an 8, Mr. Apatosaurus will wound. And with a 6, right now we only make our save on a 5. That will be the end of the forces of humanity. The planet of Dinosaurtopia has survived and driven out the colonizers, those filthy pink-bellied, two-legged, hairy-topped weirdos that showed up on Dinosaur Island. Man, this took a lot longer than I expected to. This is a great way to kill a couple of hours with the kids in your life. I know this is a goofy one, but let's remember, this is the biggest war game you've seen on the channel yet. Yeah, it's a bit silly. It's all right. We have fun, don't we, guys? Till next time, I'm praying for you.